From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Thursday morning. It's 4:30. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thanks for starting your day with us.
And I'm Ed McIntosh. Here we are. It's October.
It's October and new month. And I have to point out, new haircut, right?
Yeah, I do.
Cut all the hairs.
Yeah,
I know you're a joke. Not just one of them.
That's right. I caught them all. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yeah, let's start with the first interstate iCam. It's that observant reporter mind of yours.
I don't know about that. I mean, my husband can go with a shaved face for like 3 days, and I'm like, did you shave? So I wouldn't give me that much credit.
Well, we've got the beautiful harvest moon to get us started this morning at 47 degrees and just a little bit of a north breeze to go along with it. Yesterday, we hit a high of 63 degrees. We're right in the pocket there, close to the 30-year average for both the daytime high and the overnight low. And the winds were lighter, but we finished the month with only 54/100ths of an inch of precipitation. And as I mentioned yesterday, that all came on one day. Labor Day, which just seems to be the way that sort of thing works, the one holiday. Temperatures into the 30s and 40s across the state, but check out Jordan at a very chilly 27 this morning. A lot more 30s along the High Line as well. 32 for you in Miles City, 33 in Livingston, a little warmer at 38 in Sheridan. And Cody, good morning, you're at 42 degrees, 37 down in Worland, Wyoming. Temperatures through southern Montana and northern Wyoming, 30s, 40s for the most part. Looking at Billings, of course, with the warmer readings and a little bit cooler into the mountain foothills. Livingston, you're only at 33 degrees last check around. Temperatures today warming up likely in the upper 60s to maybe close to 70, but the clouds increase later in the day. We'll talk more about that and look into the weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Well, after hearing about that Labor Day rain, I will not moan and groan about holiday rain anymore, because now I know maybe that can be the only rain we'll get.
That might be it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ed. I will get on to this morning's news.
Okay, thanks.
Our top story this morning: after a debate filled with interruptions and biting remarks from both candidates, the Commission on Presidential Debates is planning changes aimed at preventing a repeat. They may take control of President Trump and Joe Biden's microphones, including cutting them off when necessary. Meanwhile, the president is walking back some comments he made at the debate about the far-right group, the Proud Boys. He said he doesn't know who they are, adding whoever they are, they need to stand down and let law enforcement do their work. The president claimed he has always denounced any form of white supremacy. The grand jury recordings surrounding the Breonna Taylor shooting death will be released tomorrow. A judge gave Kentucky's Attorney General an extension because he wanted more time to redact witness names. A member of the grand jury pushed to get the proceedings released, claiming the Attorney General misrepresented their deliberations. No officers were directly charged in Taylor's death. American and United Airlines say they will begin to furlough 32,000 employees today after lawmakers failed to agree on a relief package to help them. Before all is said and done, experts predict about 50,000 airline employees could face job losses. American Airlines CEO said the company has no choice but to make the cuts. Yesterday, Congress and the Treasury leaders were considering a multi-trillion-dollar stimulus package that would include $25 billion in help for the nation's airlines, but they said the agreement needs more time and support to pass. Meanwhile, coronavirus numbers continue to rise in Montana. Governor Steve Bullock voiced his concerns about the uptick, as did White House coronavirus response coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx in an interview with Q2's Janelle Slade.
I know everyone can hold on for the short number of months that we have until we have evidence that a vaccine is safe and efficacious. We've made it 7 to 8 months together, and I know that is tiring, but we have to pull this together for October, November, and December for the people of Montana. You are having hospitalizations rise, you are having fatalities rise, yet we know from the example of Gallatin County, you can stop the spread of this virus. Please, to everyone out there, you need to wear a mask, and you have to understand that the people that you invite over from dinner may have the virus. You cannot have these social gatherings right now or go into crowded areas without keeping a mask on and physically distancing. We know how to stop the spread. We can do it. You have done it as Montanans before. You need to do it and hang on for these number of months as we bridge through to an effective vaccine.
And now continuing our coverage, the man who was found dead in a West End house fire earlier this week was set to be arrested for sex crimes. On Monday, officers went to 3309 Tahoe Drive to take 45-year-old John Nayland III into custody. Instead, they found him dead, along with evidence of a fire inside the home that was several days old. Nayland died from smoke inhalation, and foul play is not suspected. In court news, a judge deals a blow to the Montana Republican Party by ruling vote by mail will move forward in Montana. 2 GOP-led lawsuits challenged Governor Steve Bullock's directive allowing counties to choose to run elections by mail due to pandemic concerns. The judge said the idea the election would be ripe with fraud is fiction, noting there were 0 cases of fraud in the June primary. He also fears voting in person would increase coronavirus infections. Looking out, some news from across the state. In Great Falls, an infant passed away this week at an unlicensed daycare. Details are limited, but the head of an organization that provides child care licenses says it's important to always confirm a daycare is safe. She says there are scholarship opportunities available for families struggling to afford daycare, and there is training available for unlicensed daycares hoping to become legitimate. Right now, we do not know the name of the daycare, the child's identity, or how they died. In Kalispell, police are investigating a string of anti-Semitic vandalism. Hateful messages have appeared on historic silos downtown and on a billboard off of Highway 93. People have also reported seeing stickers with hateful rhetoric stuck to doors and buildings in the city. At this time, investigators don't know if the incidents are connected. A Belgrade man died after his canoe flipped in the lower Madison River yesterday. Scott Smith II died after his canoe hit a large tree snag that was in the river channel. A fisherman found Smith still in the canoe, caught in the tree. There was also a man on a gravel bank with minor injuries. He was likely riding with the victim when the boat crashed. The official cause of death is still under investigation. And now in lighter news, the business of camping is booming. RV sales hit a 4-decade high, and as MTN's Jay Cohn reports, the favorite leisure activity during this pandemic was heading outdoors.
They're looking at it as the safest way to travel. That's what we saw happen this summer. People were getting outdoors and still getting some semblance of normalcy by taking a vacation, and they were doing that by camping.
That's KOA President and CEO Toby O'Rourke discussing what's been a whirlwind year at Billings-based Campgrounds of America.
When COVID-19 took hold across America last spring, business at KOA's 515 campgrounds in the U.S. and Canada ground to a halt. Cancellations in March and April topped 44,000. Fast forward to today, KOA's bottom line is on the rebound in a big way, within 10% of last year's record numbers. And as for 2021,
I think we're going to be right back to record levels again as we head into next year. So we're pretty much taking this year and then adding the spring back in. We had to be shut down during the spring, but the summer was so healthy, and we know that influx of new people are going to keep camping. Add a positive spring on top of that, I think we'll have a record year.
And there's good reason for that optimism. KOA's new research shows camping to be a favorite among millennials, young families looking to escape the pandemic blues.
If we look at what happened this past summer, a quarter of all people that camped for the first time. They never camped before. You know, these are new campers coming out. They're largely millennial, and they have families. I think 80% of those were families. So it's a really great family activity. And I know once they start, they're going to keep going. So it's a really great way of injecting this love of camping for future generations.
The research also shows people are taking trips closer to home than usual. Plus, they're no longer tied to school or an office.
Another trend that we're seeing happening is people are working remotely. They're not in offices like usual, so they are going on the road. And whether they're taking their families with them and doing remote learning, or they're working themselves from the road, they're taking the country by storm.
Still, there are a few speed bumps ahead. The closed U.S.-Canadian border poses a big hurdle for snowbirds, people that travel south each winter.
That border closure, what we're hearing is likely going to last through the end of the year, but I assume, unless numbers greatly improve, we're going to see that border closure extend, which is going to have a big impact on that snowbird business as well.
Still, the outlook for America's outdoor recreation industry perhaps has never looked so good. In this stressful time, nothing relieves stress any better than just getting outside, a surefire way to kick the pandemic blues. In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
And for families with teenagers, here's some good news from the KOA camping survey. Teens not only said they loved to camp, but 90% said they would still go camping even with no technology. And Montana's state park saw a big increase in visitors this year. Similar to the findings of the KOA, young people are checking out the Montana landscape more than ever. For the first half of the year, most of the visitors were local. But Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks says they expect the second half numbers to show tourist interest ramped up as well. Bannock and the Lewis and Clark Caverns saw more visitors this year, but the big winner was Giant Springs in Great Falls, which was the most visited state park in Montana. Now we go to California, where 4 more people have died in wildfires. Crews are making minimal progress fighting 2 sets of wildfires in Northern California. Firefighters will battle high winds and scorching temperatures as they fight the Zog Fire north of Sacramento and the Glass Fire in Wine Country. The Glass Fire is the 4th major fire in 3 years in the Napa Valley. It's destroyed more than 100 buildings and 80,000 people have had to leave their homes. Back here in Billings, the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office is showing off a new piece of equipment that's long overdue. This mobile command center is full of some of the latest law enforcement technology. It's an upgrade from the converted 1995 bread truck they had been using. The $400,000 van was paid for by a federal grant. Those with the Sheriff's Office say it can be used for everything from major scenes to search and rescue missions. Well, the pandemic has canceled or postponed many events in the community, and sadly, our breast cancer survivors breakfast here on Montana This Morning is no exception. This year's Pink Week, scheduled for the week of October 19th, will be without our annual breakfast, but we will continue on our mission of raising awareness. So we'll have a week of stories from right here in our community about breast cancer survivors, caregivers, and resources, giving women a fighting chance. And we'll kick off the week with the St. Vincent Healthcare mobile mammography coach right here in the Q2 parking lot. They'll be here Monday, October 19th from 7:30 to 3:30. To schedule your appointment, you can call 237-4373. Mammograms are recommended for women 40 and older and are covered by most insurance plans. And they want to make sure everyone gets on board. Anyone without insurance can reach out and ask about their financial assistance programs.